Black voters could power the election in St. Louis on Tuesday. Runoff takes place, and the incumbent mayor, Tishaura Jones, the first black woman elected mayor of St. Louis, is running for re-election. She is running against Cara Spencer, who white Democrats there are supporting, putting their money behind. And joining us right now is Mayor Jones. Glad to have you here. Mayor, first and foremost, it's going to be a tough re-election bid. I interviewed someone the other day, and they said in the history of St. Louis, no black mayor got a second term. Is that correct?
That is correct, Roland. And in our entire history, we've only had three black mayors, including myself, and none of them have been elected to a second term.
When you look at the breakdown, what's the racial composition of St. Louis in terms of African American voters, white voters, Hispanic voters?
We're about 45% African American, 45% Caucasian, and about 10% everything else. We have the largest concentration of Bosnians outside of Europe
Wow.
in St. Louis.
So let's talk about this election, this campaign. The Democrats party in your city endorsed Spencer over you. And, you know, what is your closing message to the voters why they should give you a second term?
My closing message to the voters is that we have to continue the progress that we're already on. When I was elected in 2021, I inherited a crisis because we were still trying to work our way out of a global pandemic. Homicides were at an all-time high, and yes, services weren't being delivered. So my team and I have gotten to work, and we've been able to make a lot of progress. We've seen a 40% reduction in homicides, 50% reduction in youth involved shootings, and our emergency response times are 60% faster. You know, this is about, even if you just compare resumes. My opponent is a math major and has never run anything or managed anybody. And I have 20 years of experience in politics, elected politics, and in the executive branch.
So, in terms of African Americans, you've had folks who are supportive. Others have taken issue with some things. In terms of, you look at what happened with Kim Gardner. That's one of the issues. And so, what do you say to black voters there who feel as if you have not done enough for African Americans?
Well, our African American, I would say our African American side of town, which is mostly North St. Louis, has been neglected for over 70 years. So there's no way that you can expect one mayor to address all of the decades of neglect in 4 years. We need more time to put things in place to address our infrastructure needs, to build more homes, to expand opportunity, workforce development programs. And we are setting the stage to do just that. But we had to fix a lot of things that have been kicked out, the can that had been kicked down the road for so many years. And so we had to fix that first before we could move forward.
Questions from our panel. My guest, Michael Imhotep, hosts African History Network show out of Detroit. Cameron Trimble joins as well, CEO, Hip Politics Media, former White House senior advisor, joining us out of D.C. And we also have joining us here. Give me one second. Actually, I'm going to do this here. Let me just quickly go. We have Tyler McMillan, social justice leader and movement strategist, also out of D.C. Michael, you first. What's your question?
Hello, Mayor Jones. I know you said that your opponent hasn't ran anything, but the question I would ask is, what would be your closing remarks to the citizens of St. Louis for to give you a second term? What type of vision would you are you proposing for a second term that builds upon what you've done, what you've accomplished in your first term?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we've made a lot of progress on crime and public safety in my first term, and St. Louis is a lot safer, healthier, and stronger than we were 4 years ago. But we're just getting started, and we have a lot further to go. What we're proposing in my second term is rehabbing our airport because we are a world-class city and we deserve a world-class airport, expanding public transit, and continuing our commitment to invest in neighborhoods that haven't seen investment in decades. We have been able to leverage $250 million into $1 billion of investment all across the city, but especially in North St. Louis and parts of South St. Louis that have been neglected for decades, because our city can't succeed and grow if over half has been left to fail.
Okay, thank you.
Cameron?
Madam Mayor, and good luck on your election. My question here is, with such a large concentration of African American voters, as well as Caucasian and white voters, how are you, in this time of so much polarization in this country, how are you being a bridge builder between those communities and in your city?
So there's no part of St. Louis that I am afraid to go in. And we have had town halls all across our city, and I've brought my cabinet to all of these meetings, trying to address the problems the everyday problems that people have. And so I have been super accessible. And again, there's no part of the city that I am uncomfortable going in, or no one that I am uncomfortable having a conversation with. I am not afraid of the difficult conversations that need to happen in order to move St. Louis forward.
Tyler?
Yeah, so great to meet you, Mayor. Being the young one on the panel, I want to ask, given the significant investment that you have made during your tenure, such as the establishment of the office.
You ain't the only young one on the panel. Y'all young folk crack me up with that shit. I wasn't trying to throw out who young. How about if I say, well, here the broke one on the panel. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead. See, y'all go there. See, y'all gonna make me go there. All right, go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question.
I'll take a loan, Uncle Roland. My question would be, how do you plan to ensure the sustainability of long-term impact of these youth-focused initiatives that you have created, especially considering potential shifts in funding with administrations?
So when I established the Office of Violence Prevention, I did it initially with funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. And in its second year, we transitioned it to become a permanent division of the Department of Public Safety and funded with our general revenue funds. So it has been a permanent department for the last year and a half. And we work really hard at funding organizations on the ground and are working with our national organizations to secure more grant funding so we can continue this work.
Final comment. What do you say to the person who is looking at the couch as an option on Tuesday?
For the person who's looking at the couch as an option, this election is too important to the future of our city. Right now, where we have the state and federal government attacking our rights, and waging war on our values, it is important who is in the mayor's office and who's going to stand up and fight for our citizens and fight for their safety against these attacks from the state and federal level. I have had the experience already fighting on the state and national level, and my opponent is untried and untrusted. And this is not the time for amateur hour. This time calls for someone who has the experience, the relationships, and the commitment to fight for you and fight for your community, for our community.
All right, then. Mayor Jones, good luck on Tuesday. Well, appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.